Superstore. This is a show about working in retail, and by retail, I mean the stereotype that is Walmart. And it's actually really good. Superstore originally aired in 2015, and you can watch it on Hulu if you want. Superstore is a workplace comedy that takes place in a fictional store called Cloud9. It's kind of like what people who have never been to a Walmart think a Walmart is. This show follows a group of employees that are just trying to survive the daily madness of retail life, and honestly, it's a perfect setting for a show. Today, we're going to be talking about the pilot episode. So the main characters that you need to be aware of for this episode is Amy, who's the floor supervisor, Jonah, who's the overeducated newbie, Dina, who is the assistant store manager, and she takes her job like very seriously, Garrett, he works for the customer service counter, Mateo, he's the other newbie, and Cheyenne, who is the pregnant teenager who works at the store. Oh, and Glenn, who is the store manager. Can't forget about Glenn. These are like the original main characters, and there are a lot of other characters that come along later, and they really fit into the show. I think this is another show that they really got the cast of the characters good. Everyone just plays off of each other so well. I really recommend this show. So I wanted to review the episode that started it all and see if it really is just as good as I remember it being. So the pilot starts off and it's just immediately chaos. I think another thing that really made this show so funny was all the cutaway shots where you just see people doing like the weirdest things. We open up with Amy talking to who we later find out is Bo as she's trying to sell him a cheap engagement ring. Then Jonah shows up for his interview with Dina, and Dina gets straight to the important questions.
Just doesn't say anywhere on here if you've got a girlfriend.
Jonah is of course hired, and Jonah then immediately meets Amy, who is definitely about to snap. Jonah proceeds to make a complete fool of himself, not realizing that Amy actually works there, and that she's the floor supervisor. It gives you the impression that Jonah kind of thinks he's better than this job, but for whatever reason, he's now forced to work here. His dreams were crushed, and now he's being forced to work here. They set it up where Jonah is embarrassed of being there and having to work there, but realizes that these are just people trying to support their families and get through the day, no different than him. I like that they show this because you might not always have the most glamorous job in the world, but someone's got to do it, and people shouldn't be judged just on where they work. Anyways, they all have a team meeting where Dina is just as crazy as she always is.
And this is crystal meth, okay? The tweakers use this to make this.
Jonah again tries to make amends with Amy and tries to reintroduce himself and then reads Amy's name tag, which says Ramona. Amy tells him that that's not her real name, but she doesn't like strangers using her name as if they're all buddy-buddy. This is one of those little running jokes that they have throughout the series. Amy is always wearing like a different fake name on her name tag every episode. And like I said, I am a huge fan of these little running jokes. There's actually a lot of little running jokes in this show, and this is one that I just love. Anyways, Jonah then compares her to a hooker.
Right, like how hookers don't like to be kissed on the lips.
Did you just compare me to a hooker?
No.
So Amy just gives him something to do. Mark the electronics down by 25%, right? What could go wrong? Meanwhile, Amy sees Cheyenne, who is a teen employee, getting proposed to by her boyfriend Bo. And Bo is the person that Amy was selling the plastic engagement ring to at the beginning of this episode. But Amy goes over to talk to Cheyenne and encourage her to think about it and not make any quick decisions. Now back to Jonah.
I am killing it over here.
You're only discounting everything 25%, right?
Yeah, scan, reassign, yes, override, yes, reprice, point.
Reduce.
Huh?
Reduce 0.25. Reprice 0.25, that would change everything to 25 cents.
It seems like Jonah just can't seem to catch a break. I can't believe he messed that up. I mean, he's been perfect this whole time, you know? Naturally, chaos ensues as Amy is screaming, trying to get all the electronics back before they leave the store.
Shut it down! Shut it all down!
After that disaster, they all have a team meeting where Amy and Jonah share a look. And Jonah asks Gareth if there's any rules against dating a higher up, which, of course, Dina overhears and thinks he's talking about her. And then he decides to redecorate an entire display to try to make it up to Amy because he feels bad that she got hurt. But in doing so, he basically creates a liability. If anyone was to run into it, they would probably get a lawsuit and maybe even a funeral. You have to remember, this is Cloud9, okay? We're not at a fancy grocery store here. It's like he's trying to speed run getting fired, you know? But honestly, this is Cloud9, so he probably fits in perfectly. Eventually, Jonah ends up outside, rolling around in shopping carts with Glenn and Garrett. And like, honestly, if I was him, I'd think I was getting fired. So it's like, yeah, why not just go have fun rolling around in shopping carts and doing donuts in the parking lot? Anyways, eventually Amy has a short existential crisis when she sees them all outside, and she says that she can still have fun. So she immediately pushes Jonah, still in the cart, straight into a car. You know, normal coworker bonding. Later that night, Amy comes over to Jonah to apologize, and we get this required emotional moment that every workplace comedy is legally required to have. A heart-to-heart between the two people that everyone wants to become a couple. They connect, they vent, they trauma bond, just like all great friends do. It seems like they've come to an understanding that everything just sucks. And then Jonah gets an idea while holding a box of stars, which hasn't been good for him so far, but we'll see where this one goes. And then we get to the best part. Suddenly, the store is being robbed. Oh wait, just kidding. It's Bo proposing to Cheyenne again, because apparently once wasn't enough. He stages a flash mob in the middle of the store, and it is the cringiest thing in the world. Also, this whole time, Dina thinks that the store is actually being robbed, so she snuck back to her office to call the cops. Eventually, Bo gets down on one knee to give Cheyenne the ring, but Dina sees this and thinks that he's holding a gun to Cheyenne, so she turns off the light, which reveals what Jonah has apparently been working on. Somehow, Jonah has managed to put up like 1,000,000 glow-in-the-dark stars all over the ceiling of Cloud 9. Like a lot of them. Like there's no way Jonah had time to do this. Did he buy the boxes of stars? Did he just take them? How did he do this without anyone seeing him and asking him what the hell he was doing? Like this is insane. Like honestly, how did he pull this off alone? And in like a few hours? If that? Also, that seems pretty high up, you know? Like honestly, I need answers. But also like look how pretty this is. I want this in my room so badly. Like this would be amazing. But you know, whatever. This is a TV show. Anyways, it all works out in the end because Amy is happy. And of course, Cheyenne says yes to Bo. And then we get our ending scene when they're all in the parking lot talking.
Well, he did make it memorable. I'll give him that.
I mean, most guys don't even bother threatening to kill you when they propose.
Oh, Jonah, if only you knew. If you're not thinking you're gonna die while being proposed to, was it really a proposal at all? When they're all done talking in the parking lot, Amy then walks away and Jonah follows her. This is when Amy finally tells Jonah her real name, which is Amy. And that, my friends, sets up your classic will they, won't they plotline. Because no workplace sitcom is complete without two coworkers falling in love slowly over several seasons. But I gotta admit, I love this pair so much, even with all the random BS that comes with it. Amy leaves, and this is when we find out that Amy is actually married, and that's probably why she was trying to talk Cheyenne out of saying yes to Bo. So we can only infer a similar scenario probably happened to her in the past, and she's not happy now. Especially with how much they try to set up Amy and Jonah, you can already tell that they're planning to do something there. I think it's a great pilot and shows you exactly who the characters are, sets the tone for the show and the series in general. Basically, retail is hell, people are weird, and for some reason we're all still showing up every day. Let me know if you want me to cover more episodes. I really love this show, and it is crazy. Thank you all for watching, subscribe, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!